Marco.
Sean, are we there yet?
It's getting so close. So close I can smell it.
Did you fill up the gas tank?
You know, I'm not in charge of filling up the tank because I'm flying.
Yeah, me too.
You don't want me filling up the tank.
No. I'm gonna go straight Burbank to Oakland.
Yes.
That should be pretty easy, and I don't have to worry about refilling the tank. We were talking about that with Subo before we started recording.
I know.
Things are going crazy, but that's just how it is.
It is how it is. Subo, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. RSAC Conference is right around the corner, and we're excited to see you there.
Yeah, we're getting thrilled. It's about to come, and we have a lot to talk about. As we talked last time, a lot of good things we want to talk about.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. We're kind of teasing what we're expecting there, what the conversation we're going to have, and then we'll check back and see if we were right or wrong, right?
That's right. Yeah, well, we'll have a good chat on site as well to get into some of the nitty gritty, but before we do that, I think some folks have probably heard you on the show before, but I'm going to guess there are a few new ones because we're always getting new people listening. A few words about what you're up to, Subo, and what's going on at Stellar Cyber.
Yeah, sure. So I'm with Stellar Cyber. We're one of those innovative security operations, SecOps software company. I head up product, so I'm responsible for the product direction, strategy, and delivery. And we've been kind of a SecOps software tool sold as a platform, meaning the founders quickly found out there was a lot of tool sprawl going on. You have to buy a tool for SIM, you have to buy a tool for endpoint, you have to buy a tool for identity attacks. We clearly said we want to serve the MSSP market. Which don't have a lot of staff like enterprises do, so it needs to be a unified platform. And from day one, it was built with AI in mind, which, as you fast forward now, everybody's talking about AI, autonomous SOC, agentic. We were way back a decade ago talking about machine learning, everything we did, all the layers of our platform was AI-based. And then we announced with you, right, a year ago at last RSA, right, we're going to be a leader in the autonomous SOC, agentic AI, and we're here. We're actually going to talk about that. We're going to talk about customers using our autonomous SOC. And it's going to be, like we said, we started early with AI. We're like the adults versus there are a lot of kids and the new kids in the block trying to say they can do it. But ours is a more professional and with history, with our age, I probably shows my age, but, with maturity and experience comes, being able to execute.
Yeah, and I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here, not to make you nervous, but 10 plus years ago, you had a vision for what you wanted to accomplish. Mm-hmm. How does that look now compared to what you foresaw? And if there are changes, how did you navigate those to actually achieve what you have available?
Yeah, so I think the vision from the start was a unified platforms that can take the entire life cycle of what a SOC does, right? The life cycle of what, how to discover, where to get the alerts, how to protect it, how to contain it, right? And so fast forward 10 years later, the amount of attacks that are happening have gone crazy because of, we knew that AI would make our platform intelligent. AI is also helping the bad actors. The amount of attacks that are coming, which are LLM-generated, so what you could probably do, a bad actor could do a 10 phishing or ransomware or malware, they had to write it and do it. You can do that in minutes now. So the volume of surface attack has just gone so crazy that unless you just have unlimited budget to kind of keep adding humans and SOC analysts, you're not going to be able to maintain the velocity of threats that are coming. And our vision was we want to be a SecOps platform for the masses. We don't want to just serve the people that have heavy budgets like the enterprises or government. We wanted to serve the mid-market because the threats don't care what size of a company you are, right? So, which is why we were very fortunate. We built our product to be MSSP friendly, who serves that mid-market as well as very large customers. But there are a million more mid and small customers than enterprises than there are large enterprises. And it's a much more scalable business too, right? So we built our product to be multi-tenant. And now look here, we knew AI was important. And now everybody's talking about AI. It's like the buzzword, right? I can't imagine going through a booth in RSA and agentic, AI, autonomous. What we're going to say is we've already thought about this and it's here. Let's actually talk to you about how good our product gives you a true positive and why you should be comfortable. Because everybody can automate.
Let me ask you something. Like as you mentioned buzzword, and I know that's what we're going to hear, especially maybe not in the corridor that much, but on the expo floor for sure. It's going to be all AI. You've been doing this since before it was even cool, right?
Yeah.
So help me and the audience to understand what is hype and what is the truth of where we're standing right now.
Yeah, and I think AI is kind of the transformative new technology. Like in the old days, it was the internet, right? It's kind of like that, right? And people say GLP-1 is the other transformative, right, technology because of weight loss. But AI truly is transforming because you can do a lot of things in minutes, which used to take a human person, years of experience to do. We can't process how fast an agent or AI can process things across multitude. So AI is not hype. It's actually real. The fact that we've been using machine learning decades ago, we clearly understood the value, right? Automation is important, but the old, your grandfather's automation is not what's going to work in this world. You now have all these open AI and Gen AI, LLMs capability, which are very capable to do workflows and use cases. But so that's kind of the reality. AI is truly important and will here to stay, and it will transform in terms of how products are created, processes, as well as operational. What are people's role going to be? Right, because it's not going to replace. It will replace some mundane tasks, but we think it's not going to replace SOC analysts. We're going to elevate the role of a SOC analyst. So that's there. Now the hype is, buy our agentic AI autonomous SOC and we'll solve world hunger. Right? It's like you have to have confidence in how the agents work and give back a result. Because you can use all these technologies, but if you don't have confidence in how the verdict is returned, but more importantly, why we call ours human augmented, the humans are going to interact with our system and make it more intelligent. Because it can do the rules and all that, and it could, you can probably fake the algorithm and it comes back with a bad answer. But how do you know if it's good or bad, right? You just if you have over dependence on now a new technology like AI, you're just assuming it's correct, but that's not the case. So we're making our roadmap so that our agentic agents are constantly learning, but it's also interacting with the humans so that we can teach it to say, yes, I know this is a problem, but it's not really an issue. That's why you change the verdict from true positive to, okay, it's mildly, and you can ignore that. Only a human today can kind of think that way. I mean, will machines get smarter? Sure. So the quality and the accuracy of the verdicts that these agents are going to do, I think there's a lot of hype in terms of what's real versus reality. And only those systems that have learned how to use AI properly and be able to interact with humans to optimize it, I think those are the vendors like us that are going to be more successful. And you can trust it versus just, okay, I used to have 100 staff, I'm going to reduce it to 10, agents take over. That's hype. I think that is not going to happen, right?
And you said the word that was sticking in my head as you were describing all this, trust. Because this is an industry that's increasingly reliant upon trusting the vendor as a partner, not just grabbing a bunch of technology and hoping it works. So how do you establish that trust and connect that back to a program.
Yeah.
So it's not just the product can do X, Y, and Z, and these are the scenarios we run in the lab. It's building trust in the environment that this stuff has to run in.
Yeah, and so we'll actually demo this and please come to our booths, like folks who are interested. So when we come back with the results, say it's true positive, our agents are extremely aware of being able to relay back why they come to that conclusion. There'll be a case summary, right? This is why we think it is. And then you go to the right side in our product, you'll see all the different forensics it did to say why we think this was a phishing or a ransomware high alert type issue. So the trust comes with the more accuracy and details of what's displayed, and be able to then, our system will be able to interact. Do you agree with this? Or do you have a change of what you would see in terms of, or should we ignore any of the analysis of what we did with the observables or with the threat intel, right? So the trust will come from repeated capability to bring accuracy in your findings. And that's where they're going to be more comfortable. Yeah. I have a slide that kind of shows, right, what the day of a SOC, it's this complicated, all the things they do to just analyze a single alert. I multiply that by 1,000 alerts per day. The only way they can solve that is keep adding bodies. That's not scalable. And how trust is going to come is when they repeatedly say, okay, Stellar Cyber, you told me it's 10 this month. I agreed with those 10. Next month, there's another 15 or 10. And it's showing the same accuracy. Once they start seeing, the accuracy of the results from the autonomous SOC, they will have more trust. But it can't be a blind faith, right? Okay, shut the door off. Okay, now it's CrowdStrike, or I'll just name drop here. And Palo, their autonomous SOC is so good, I'm just don't need any humans, let's just close the door. I think that's a fallacy. That's never going to happen.
And what I hear and what you're saying is everybody has his own need. Every company has his own jewel to protect and the way they do it. So there's the customization that is important. It's not an out-of-the-box, here's AI for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously that's kind of the blood, sweat, and tears we did to build the product, right? AI is an enabler. But how you use the AI to do the enrichment of an alert, normalize it. The other thing we do is correlate. We think that just focusing on alerts, it's like needle in a haystack. You'll never get to it. So our AI also just correlates all the alerts into a case. So you can have 1,000 alerts, but you only need to focus on 10 cases because there are commonalities on these alerts. Like if it's a identity hack happened, somebody got into your login, and then they're starting to lateral move. That type of attack is probably having with multiple alerts, right? But if you didn't know how to correlate, you're going to go through those hundreds of alerts. Oh shit, that's the same guy, right? That's been going around and doing the same thing. So that's a case, right? So let me just do block the user, don't let them in, blah, 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 right? That's the action you would do. So you have to know how to use AI to what the life cycle of what a security operations does. And then we have to make sure you have trust the data. And then with us, we have the feedback loop to even make it a more intelligent learning system.
So as people come to your booth, which is in the South Hall, 3.
Yeah, actually down the escalator, you'll see us. We're front and center.
All right, S327 down the escalator.
Yeah.
You serve a few different audiences. So clearly the analyst is sitting and engaging with your platform. There's a SOC leader who manages a team, security program manager, threat hunters, and then the MSSPs that help some of the small and mid-sized organizations do this stuff where they don't have a team. What do you expect them to come to the booth and find when they connect with you there? Is there something they're looking for specifically, or are they exploring, or what are some of the conversations things lead you to?
So when we think of ICP, right, what is ideal customer profile? There's the buyer, the person who's got the bucks to buy, right, is usually the CEO of an MSSP or the the senior most executive, right? They want to understand the value and ROI of our tool versus a competitive tool, right? So we talk about the unification. You don't need 10 different tools. So that saves them time to hopping between consoles. You're able to pick and choose anything from anybody versus the big guys, right? They want to sell their own EDR. We don't care what EDR you use, right? We're agnostic. So the openness of our platform and the unified of the platform is what the decision maker that wants to purchase, because they are, especially the MSSPs, margins are slim, budgets are limited, right? So they want a tool that allows them to get up quickly. So for example, if we have an MSSP and they onboard a new customer, they can't afford weeks and months to get them up. With ours, you get up in minutes. I can easily just turn on another tenant because we're multi-tenant and be able to do that. So that's what they want to know. How easy is it to use? How does it solve the core problems and the security services they want to deliver? And does it allow me to scale? Can I create more security services, which means more revenue, right? The SOC analysts, they want to understand how to use our product, right? And how can you... They're fatigued, right? They just say, like, what can you do to reduce my time to solve a problem? All right. So that's where our autonomous SOC and our AI capabilities kind of allows them to, we say, breathe. You can breathe now, right? So, and so they want to understand the capability, extensive nature, the fact that we're open ingestion, data engine. You're seeing all these M&A, right? CrowdStrike bought Onum and all that. They quickly realize if you don't have your data ingestion proper, it's like garbage in, garbage out, right? We knew that from day one. We built a very robust data engine so we can ingest anywhere, but filter, right? And then normalize and create more context on the alert. So that's very good. And then be able to do kind of the secret sauce is really our XDR platform allows us to enrich and create cases from alerts. And now we're introducing the concept of autonomous SOC, which is kind of a cherry on the top, which goes into hyper automation, right? We are able to rapidly triage alerts or phishing attacks, and then being able to quickly sift through thousands of alerts into a few cases. And so you can remediate much, much faster. So that allows us to. So that's what they would be excited about. Oh my God, okay, I can do things that took me weeks to a day or two, right? Time saving. I can focus on more remediation versus I'm spending hours of the day trying to figure out what the problem is, right? So it elevates the role of the SOC analyst, that they focus more on their remediation, but the agents are like the digital agent. They have a farm of agents that don't sleep, that are doing the kind of the busy work.
Well, very cool. Listen, Subo, we know that the conferences where we've been lucky enough to find you, like RSAC Conference, we're excited to see you again. It's also a place where the community come together, where you talk in the hall, you explain what you do. I know you're going to have demos probably at the booth, so people should come over there. We're excited to see you. We're excited to see everybody else. Even if I hear people saying, I gotta go at RSA Conference, I know that they're excited about it because they get to see all their friends and peers, and and we are excited to see you. We're also excited to have you sit down on the couch with us. I don't know, maybe Sean alone, maybe I'll jump in, I don't know yet. And go deeper into this conversation and deeper in what you hear actually happening, it'd be good to kind of, while I'm there the next first day or two, I can kind of give you what are we hearing from the customers or prospects coming to our booth, what are we hearing from our friends and foes, whatever you want to call them, right? And we want to make sure that, hey, they got stuff, but we got stuff running, right? And we got customers. So, and if you're tired, we actually have a barista, so we'll get you some good coffee. Especially, I know, Mark, you love coffee, Italian coffee. Oh yeah, I'll make sure we have some for my cappuccino in the morning.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have some Lavazza there for you.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, Sean, let's say goodbye. The booth is 327 South Hall, right down the escalator. Stop by for the chats and the cappuccino.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that, of course, Sean, is at RSA Conference.
We're excited. It's 2 more weeks or 10 days. I stopped counting.
It's close.
Yeah.
March 23 through 26th, and we will see you there. And thanks everybody for listening and watching. Stay tuned for more coverage. RSAC Conference, itspmagazine.com/RSAC. Thanks, Subo.
All right, thank you.